Listeners are not just dabbling. They really are into podcasting. So all the times you look at another podcast just like yours and you're like, they're my competition. They're actually not. You should encourage them. The specific information that you talk about is the exact same thing they want to hear and nothing else. If they wanted something else, they would listen to the radio.
Not necessarily how is it you may take your audience and sell to them, because that's not what you're here to do. It's how do you help them support you while making them an integral part of your brand and a part of your story.
Your podcast could have 10 listeners, but if they're passionate about it, they're going to want to represent and engage your brand.
Do you have to make money on your podcast? No, not if you don't want to.
Correct.
I promise you don't have to turn your hobby into your job. Capitalism. But like, so we are here, just in case, before we move on, if you decide that you don't want to make money and you just want to do your own thing, that's fine. But this is how you can do it for yourself.
When we look at what makes an effective online course, and if there's one thing you remember from this presentation, it would be this. An online course is a shortcut to an outcome.
What, why, and how. So what are they about to learn in your video? Why is it important? So kind of like we did in this workshop, we showed you why online courses were important, and then how do they do it? And then the most important part of any online course is what we call the butterfly effect. It has nothing to do with the video or the movie. You need to provide a transformation for your students.
You might think that I'm going to create my heart out, I'm going to give my all to my audience, I'm going to put my lifeblood and sweat into this thing, and I'm just going to put out great content and they will come and they will pay and they will support me. It doesn't work like that. You have to take control, which is why you need to think like an entrepreneur rather than just like a creator.
And I'm not an advocate of you writing a sales letter. Like, I do not want your book to be a sales letter. I love books. This is kind of like, I'm a pro book person. When I set out to self-publish, I wanted my book to be as good or better than a traditionally published book. So when I'm talking about books, I'm talking about creating a book that you're so proud you'd hand it to absolutely anybody.
The most important thing to me is to make the ads your own. If they feel like part of the show, that's when people listen to them. And if they feel like you and they feel authentic to you and to the show and to your sensibilities and everything else, that's when listeners don't skip them. And the only way the ads can work is if people pay attention to them. Podcasts are booming because the ads work.
As an entrepreneur, I believe one of the most straightforward ways to make a positive contribution in the world is to create products and services that help somebody solve the problem.